have you heard of sunk cost fallacy? The sunk cost
Sunk
fallacy.
cost?
Sunk cost fallacy.
Hey, sounds familiar.
It means that you have stayed together for so long. It would be a shame. It would be a shame if you separate. If there's
I mean, if now someone come to me and tell me I have lost control of my anger,
Yeah.
I would just tie them up and put them on a chair and say, "Stop it." You know?
you tie them up and put it on a chair.
Yeah.
If I feel like I'm a bad mother, there are many times where I would project that. I might project that to my child by acting like that because I already believe that I'm a bad mother. Therefore, I behave like that.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome in back to another episode, another day with Dr. Sewan Ho.
Dr. Tony, what a week it has been. And one thing that I wanted to actually bring up into our podcast show, into our episode, right, is one about mental health.
Why are you interested in mental health?
Because it's interesting.
I'm
about,
interested.
About relationships, about couples, conflicts, happenings, and about anxiety, and even about some trauma as well. I think we need to address those things for our dear listeners, right, Doctor?
Yes, correct.
I mean, we have a holistic doctor health podcast made just for you.
Okay,
Right?
yes.
So who can we actually bring in to come and discuss with us about all these things?
Yeah. I found somebody in Instagram. Her name is Hui Wen.
Right.
She is a certified mental health therapist. I saw her Instagram. It's quite interesting. So we can have her chatting with us today and sharing about relationship.
Right. So today we have her with us.
Yes.
All right. Let's bring her in. Come on. Hello, Miss
Hello.
MHD. Woo! What does MHD stand for again? Is it milk
Ma-
health therapy?
Mental health therapy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, don't get it
mental
wrong,
health
okay?
therapy. I thought it was milk health. Oh, anyways.
Anyway.
What does she do, doctor?
Okay, I think we better ask Hui
yes,
Wen.
yes.
I do sessions. I do mental health sessions. I do talks. I do martial art. I help with kids classes. and
You do
whatnot, yes.
social media as well, right?
Yes, I do social media as well.
Okay,
Yes,
okay. That's
to
how
raise
we found
awareness
you.
and all. Yes.
Hui Wen, how's it going for you?
So same. I think my week is like a hamster on a wheel running.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have your own clinic, right? You have your own clinic, your
Own
space.
space. Yes.
Wow. Wait, what is the name of your place?
The name of my place is Staying Sane 101.
Staying Sane 101. That's a very creative name. Why do people come and see you in your clinic, and what do they seek for when they come and see you? Or perhaps what triggered them to come and say, I want to see Miss MHT today?
So I guess very similar to when people come to see a doctor, when they feel some symptoms, like physical symptoms such as heart rate is raising, your hand is trembling, you are crying, you have crying spells as we call it, then that's when, or maybe they have breakdowns at home and they maybe did something that they regret, like shouting or beating the kids, for example, then they come to see me. Yeah, they've lost control of themselves.
And so what can you do? I mean, if now someone come to me and tell me I have lost control of my anger,
Yeah.
I would just tie them up and put them on a chair and say, "Stop it." You know?
You tie them up and put it on a chair.
Yeah.
Is that what you do?
They create more clients for me. Okay.
Yes. So what do you do when you see these kind of people?
I think we need to explore where it comes from, because when we first came to this world, right, we know nothing of ourselves. We don't know how to express. We don't know how to control our emotions. So we want to explore where this starts. Like where does this behavior come from? Is it a learned behavior from our parents? Is that pent up emotions, lack of healthy outlets of expression? Yeah, this is what we explore.
I see. And so from there, then you would prescribe a solution?
I prescribe homework, yes. I wouldn't say solution per se, but we need to learn how to make friends with our symptoms, know where it comes from. Instead of fighting those symptoms, we want to find out, how do I cope with all these things? Like I do primarily CBT work as for now, like learning how to identify core beliefs of ourselves, I like to call it sense of self, like how I believe myself to be. So for example, if I feel like I am a bad mother, there are many times where I would I would project that. I might project that to my child by acting like that because already believe that I'm a bad mother, therefore I behave like that.
As in, so I mean, like that will help the patients to kind of like
Understand
get
where
better
it comes from. Yeah.
and improve their behavior.
Yes. And also work on learning how to regulate their emotions.
I see. Well, that's kind of cute. So you can do that. Okay, but one thing is important for us to know. Do you agree that your background, your upbringing, no matter what you experience in your parents and your family and so on and so forth, can never and should never be an excuse to justify
Your
any
behavior.
wrong behavior that you might do now or in the future?
Absolutely. Of course, it does not justify our bad but hurtful behavior to other people. That's why it's so important to take accountability, to be mindful of what's happening in the background.
Okay, Hui. I'm interested about toxic relationship. Okay, so how do you deal with toxic relationship? For example, got a couple, they fight, they do a lot of destructive things
Destructive things. Okay.
to themselves,
Yes,
sometimes to the
themselves.
family.
Oh, yeah.
How
Yeah.
do you help them?
How do I help
Yeah.
them? Before even helping them, they need to be aware that it's destructive.
Yeah.
Right? They need to know that what they do is wrong. Basically, if you hurt other people, it's not right.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So they need to take accountability first. Then, if they're willing to help themselves, right, come to the stage where I'm aware of this, I need to work on it, then I can help them. If they're not willing to work on it, I don't think I can help.
Actually, how many percent of people in toxic relationship are aware that they are in toxic relationship?
Usually when they come to see me, they are aware of it.
But what about
They
in
know.
general population?
In general, very rare, I would say.
Rare.
If they're not open, because in toxic relationship and mental health, they're quite closely linked together. So if they're not aware of how it affects their mental health, then they won't seek help. Right?
Okay. So how do we help them to recognize the toxic relationship? What is the signs of toxic
Relationship.
Yeah.
Actually, doctor, before that, right, why not define for us first,
Toxic
like, what
relationship.
is a toxic relationship in your definition, in your idea,
my
in your
definition.
concept? Yeah.
A toxic relationship is one, I think, when you don't feel safe. You don't feel physically safe. For example, if you're in an abusive relationship, right? A physically
that is
abusive, emotional,
outline,
they still
yes.
stay, People still stay in such physical
yes,
abuse. They still
yes.
stay. So I think that is a toxic relationship. One of the biggest symptoms of a
You don't
toxic-
feel safe.
They don't, and they are not safe actually. They
Yeah,
don't feel
yeah.
safe and they're not safe.
Next.
What
one.
about like in boyfriend girlfriend relationship? They are not staying together.
Yeah.
They may not feel
Okay.
not safe. But so what are the signs? How do we?
So let's say first thing was like about being abusive, right?
Yeah.
So what is the next thing that you will put in the definition to
Of
recognize this?
as a toxic relationship, when one partner or both partners have lost what we call sense of self, they're totally codependent to the point where if one is not good, the other is not good at all. Where totally like just now I had a not gonna name names. I have clients. I have clients who would say things like, "Oh, I can kill someone for my partner."
This is the opposite of being abusive.
Yes.
Being protective.
Too much.
Protective.
Too controlling.
Controlling.
You cannot go this, cannot go there, cannot do this, cannot do that.
But they can also, that kind of behavior can also harm the partner also, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Constant fights, I guess. Constant fights is a thing. If each time they meet is fight, each time they meet is verbal fights, people still stay in such relationships. Yes. Yeah.
How often are those fights that you're talking about? Like what? Like
What's the
how often?
frequency?
Yes.
Each time they meet, there's always a fight. And they always, even though they're not happy together, they still stay together.
This is you are talking about marriage relationship
think
or
both,
boyfriend.
It can be both. It can
But-
be a parent and child as well. Like a child goes home, always fight with the mother and the mother or father. Yeah.
But
But
that's hard to
like-
say because I mean a child is dependent on the parents.
She cannot run away, right? But
let's
Oh,
say
they can do it.
boyfriend, girlfriend.
They can run away. That's true. Yes, they can run away.
they can,
So-
but they may not have
the money
place to
Yeah.
to stay and may not have money to buy
Yep.
food. What
Yeah.
about like girlfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend?
Yeah.
they fight every time, but why do they stay together?
Where do they stay together?
Why?
Have you heard of sunk cost fallacy? The sunk cost
Sunk
fallacy.
cost?
Sunk cost fallacy.
Hey, sounds familiar.
It means that you have stayed together for so long. It would be a shame. It would be a shame if you separate. If they have
I
spent
see.
like 5 years, 6 years together, or worse, they have bought a BTO together, then they're like, oh, might as well go through with it.
But sometimes few
Yeah.
months also they fight together. Always fight, but they never break up. Stay together.
Yeah. So there's a misconception about fights actually. So
How about like weekly fights?
weekly fights. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. No, I think fights are inevitable.
Of course.
Inevitable in all
For sure.
relationships. But it's making it constructive instead of destructive.
Okay.
What a swinging
So
thing.
got good fight and got bad fight.
Of course, yeah.
What? How do you?
How do I define
differentiate?
this? Okay, a good fight is when it's talk things out openly without going into shaming the other person, without blaming, without what we call stonewalling, withdrawing emotionally, or
that's important.
throwing threats. Say that
Yeah.
if you say this, if you do this, then I'll do that.
Yeah, okay.
Those are bad
That's like
ones.
argument. Like argument.
Like
But
a
when you
healthy, mature argument, I think. is important.
threaten the other party or talk bad thing about
Yeah,
the other party.
yeah.
That's
A good
unhealthy fight.
Yeah, these are unhealthy fights. Good traits would be where one you can talk things out. Yeah, you can say I feel hurt when you do this. There's healthy expression. So instead of saying you, I start more with I. Yeah.
yeah.
So
You, if you start with you, is very offensive. Right? People
It's-
become defensive
yeah,
and
straight away the brain perceives as I'm being attacked.
attack.
Yep.
That's an interesting fact. Say it again. Say it again.
If you
So
say you are bad, you are what? Then the other
Yeah.
party will
The brain
perceive
perceives
as attack.
So there's this statement or structure I use a lot in couple session. So I give them a sheet of paper. I feel blank when you blank because what I need from you was or is. So I feel hurt when you say bad things about me in front of your friends because when you do that, I don't feel respected as your partner. So it sounds more constructive instead of why you do that, why you yeah.
You relaying
Yeah.
your feeling, but without being offensive.
Yes.
Actually, one of the more famous things about relationships that I've heard of is like this. A relationship between two people, let's say a male and a female, right? These two are not brought together by blood. They are
Yep.
not, like for example, mom and kid. You
Right.
can never have an ex-mom. Your mom will always be your mom because it's by blood. It's done, it's still. But you can have ex-GF, ex-husband, ex-wife. You can have that. You can even have, ex-men, right? So you can have all that. But this is one thing that I want to discuss with you. Would you agree or what would you say when people tell you like this? A relationship, at the end of the day, at the most bare form of it, is actually a contract.
A contract.
Between two people, right? So if let's say now, I were to buy 10 tennis balls from you, and I'll pay you $100 for it, and you give me 10 tennis balls, I found out that 2 tennis balls were faulty,
Right.
right? But I already give you $100.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna come back to you. I'll say fix
the
my
two.
2 balls. I will fix the 2 tennis balls, right?
Okay.
Fix my balls.
All right.
and then I'll get
Yeah.
you to fix it, right? So the similar idea. I
Yeah.
already pay you the $10, so you gotta fix my balls.
Yep.
And again, but now in a relationship between a guy and a girl. If let's say a girl cheats in a relationship, it's like you give him something faulty. You hurt his feelings. You did something that is wrong in a contract. That goes against the contract. By breaking up, it doesn't solve the problem. The minus is still there. Like I give you a plus. For example, I paid for your meal. I drove you home. I give you a plus, and you cheat on me. You give me a minus, and there is still an imbalance, right?
But I think
So
cheating.
would you agree? Would you agree that you shouldn't just break up, but you should solve the problem first and get the contract back into in line again?
Well, it depends whether the couple they still want to work things out, right? I think cheating is not black and white. It is not so hard to say when you come from. I have clients who I know why they cheat. Let's say I know why they cheat.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not so wrong or right. It's not right or wrong. It is what it is. There's always a reason. What we say, there's always a function serving that behavior. Yeah. So. Yeah.
So why do you think people cheat? Like what like things that you face?
Why do people cheat? Yeah, people cheat for a lot of reasons. If the statistics have shown that if either of their parents have a history of cheating, the likelihood of them cheating is very high. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Or
That's interesting.
yeah. Then
Inherited. Cheating inherited.
Learned behavior.
it's a learned behavior or some mirroring happening. They also cheat because it could be lack of emotional connection, or lost or disconnection happening in relationships, or sexual incompatibility. Yeah, that can happen. Either too little or too much, sort of thing. Yeah, or different, totally different. I have times where couples come in and to discover themselves as homosexual, for example. Yeah.
Then they cheat because
They cheat
they don't want
because
to know.
they cheat because they found out that they are actually homosexuals.
Okay, I wouldn't count that as cheating though. Like if my girlfriend
They won't
became
count
a
as
homo,
cheating.
I wouldn't say it's cheating. I'll just
Yeah.
say go ahead. I mean, you have to.
All right,
yeah,
all right.
Perhaps one thing to ask you is that what are some common challenges that couples face? Yes, that you think that ought to be addressed.
Common challenges. I think one of them is lack of communication. Really is lack of communication, no trust, problems with each other's families happens as well. Or I don't
It's
like
very
your
common,
family.
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's not a
in-laws.
common struggle. Yes, in-laws problems. Yeah, then being a parent, different parenting styles. Yeah, after having a child, somehow your spouse becomes someone different. You lost connection there.
Interesting.
So what is your success rate in managing this?
Couples are.
You always argue
I tell
about the
you.
same thing. Argue about the same thing.
That's okay. When they come in, they usually once they understand where it comes from,
Yeah.
it's coming from a place of. So we deactivate diffuse the bomb by helping them to learn that it's not about them. Depersonalize it. So she's not
Depersonalize.
attacking you per se. She's responding to he or she is responding to a trigger. It could be a trigger from the past. It could be a past, from family. Yeah, things like that. So it's not about you. It could be something that she's responding to in the past. He or she's responding in the past. Yeah.
Okay. So you try few different methods how to communicate better, and then
How to understand each other better. I think that's important. Learning how to accept differences, taking accountability of our own contribution or projection into the relationship.
but is there like people who never change?
Never change. Have.
Like you try whatever therapy method you,
I think
but
if
still the same. Is there such?
that's why when the brain or when the mind is so close, it's very hard. They need to be open-minded to change. I can't work with someone who is not willing to work on themselves.
But
right?
when they come to see you, right, they recognize the problem already.
But they think that they
want
can.
the other party to change instead of
uh-huh.
themselves.
Yes, that's common also. Yeah.
Can you recognize that? No point seeing me lah. You go back.
I have.
Because you will never change.
I think no, I won't say like that. Of course, I need to gently bring this client to understand that I don't think I'm able to help because Yeah, I won't say that you're not gonna change. I can't say I'm not. I
But
don't say that. Of course.
Usually,
Yeah.
how many sessions that you have to interact with them?
Yep.
Then you know that this
The first or second session.
just 1-2 session, you have some idea that
I
it will work or not.
Because I don't want to waste my clients' time. I don't want to waste their
of
money
course.
as well.
What are some of those like really really famous or case that you
Yeah.
remember all the time?
Remember all the time.
that's-
Very
that's
special case.
Special cases, yeah.
I don't very hard for me to say because every case is very individual. Very individual, and each of my relationship with my clients are very individual, very intimate, very personal
Yeah.
to me. I think one of the I think most hard that I could still remember is that this couple that came to see me. So this is a male and female relationship, but because they have been so disconnected, emotionally disconnected, he has asked for an open relationship. An open relationship. So it means an open relationship.
This is husband and wife.
No, girlfriend, boyfriend.
Girlfriend, boyfriend.
they got married in the end. They got married and they stayed together. So open relationship, but she initially thought that she's gonna be okay with it. But
Open relationship means open to have relationship with another party.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But
that
they're
you
still
can have
together.
like many girlfriends.
yeah, but they're still together.
Yes.
Love is different to different people, I guess. Right? Accepting your partner, as long as your partner is happy, you're happy. You know, I don't know. Yeah. So that's what happened. She was very. There was a lot of hurt. So each time they have sex, she felt triggered. Right? She felt triggered, and then a lot of self-blaming. Yeah, self-blaming as well. Like maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I shouldn't have agreed to it. Why do I do this? A lot of things. So each time they have sex, she felt very, very hard.
Yeah.
But the girl agreed to open relationship.
Yes, because she would do anything to keep the relationship going.
So like bargaining.
That's the part where I knew she has lost herself.
Then what happened?
Okay, so they got married in the end, right? So I got her to learn how to express her emotions. So she was hurt, right? So we want to find a middle ground that works for both couple, whether what works. So in the end, he decided to stop open relationship and try to work things out, and then they got married.
Okay.
Now working towards a kid, having a kid.
So relationship is okay.
So she managed to express how she feels about the open marriage. Then she expressed about how she does not feel good with her own body. You know, he also learned how to reassure her, how to basically rebuild that connection. Yeah.
But actually, they love this couple, love each other.
They do, yes.
But they have unmet expectation. Then one guy tried to manipulate.
Not
I
manipulate.
don't know, manipulate.
It's more like
what open relationship.
Yeah, he asked for it because he felt very burnt out in the relationship because of constant fights.
Oh.
Yeah, and also he probably I don't remember. It's a few years now. He asked for a break, a time out. Then she probably say things like, "What can I do to make this work?"
Okay,
and then
okay,
say,
okay.
"Oh, can we try?" Yeah.
But it's good that it works out. Okay.
Are there specific strategies or techniques, right, that couples can make use of to navigate disagreements or conflicts linked to mental health or anxiety or whatsoever? So, what are the techniques that you will advise them?
Right,
Yes,
so take
yes.
a pause. It's important to recognize that, okay, I'm not in the right headspace right now. Let's talk about this later. I think this is one good way to stop things escalating. So de-escalate time, take space.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for the other partner who with what we call anxious attachment, we are anxious about
what?
anxious
Anxious.
anxious
Anxious attachment.
anxious attachment.
Sounds
So
very sus, actually.
they worry about being abandoned, right? They have fears of being abandoned. So when a partner asks for space, it might trigger a lot of like, are you going to abandon me? Are you going to look for someone else? During this space when I'm not with you, are you going to look for someone else? So, but the space is important.
Okay.
So it's important to work things out later.
Right.
Yeah.
So usually in that case, the other party will want to talk and don't want to give space, and the other party want to.
So yeah. So it's like what we call like a pursuer, a withdrawer kind of thing. The pursuer would constantly, can we resolve this today? Can we do this now? I want to settle this now, so that because I can't deal with uncertainty, I don't like the unknowns, I don't like not knowing what's next. But the other person, I can't deal with it right now. That's withdrawing. I don't want to deal with it. It's too much for me right now. So yeah, this is a very common dynamic.
But what is the balance?
What's the balance?
So somebody can be like just don't want to deal with it forever, don't want to deal with it, and the other one want to deal with it now.
We need to find a middle ground. Find a middle ground where we need to respect the person giving space, but the person cannot be withdrawing forever. I have this analogy I use a lot with couples. It's like two poles supporting a roof. Yeah, they need to have space between them. If they get too close, they're not supporting the roof right? So if one pole go too close, then they're not supporting the roof well as well. So they need to be still be an individual while supporting the relationship.
Giving space to each other, but supporting the relationship.
Today, Hui Wen, actually you got something to tell us today, right? A very interesting story about fetish. What's up?
Okay. So I have this client. So he has a fetish. I think he is very ashamed to share with the wife, right? So he has a fetish of wanting have something. It's almost an urge where he's trying to find out more himself because he felt something is wrong with him because he wanted to have sex with his mother. So. And he watched those watch of MILF. I didn't know the term MILF until I worked with this person. So yeah, so he wanted to have, and when I talk about sharing of sexual intimacies with each other, so the husband and wife were talking about fetishes, right? What do each other want to try to spice up their marriage life? So when he in the session when he bring this up, the wife's face changed totally, right? Say, what you want to have sex with?
Was she angry or something?
She wasn't angry, but she was trying very hard to accept, to receive with an open mind. I think.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
But the wife never knew this before.
No.
Okay, first time.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Then what happened?
So from that turning point, we talk about shame. We talk about I asked him, how do you feel when you share about what you just shared earlier? How do you feel? Then I asked her, how do you feel? Right? And that's where we learn how to accept differences, learn how to receive fetishes or sexual intimacies differently. Yeah.
So I mean, then did she let him do it, or was she okay?
Of course not. Yeah. She was of course not have sex with the mother, but he was watching porn. So we tried other things. What are the next best thing, for example?
So prevented from doing that thing.
Yes. Not
his fetish.
He doesn't want to actually. Of course, there's a lot of conflict within him, right? Must be a lot of conflict within him. So, yeah.
Okay, just some scientific facts, all right? I was just talking to some counselors before about this. So they did say that when you watch pornography and you're addicted to pornography, right, your brain actually shrinks and gets smaller. Is that true in your understandings?
I think the brain starts to shrink at a certain age for everyone.
I mean,
because of watching
porn
porn
can damage your brain. Is that true?
I don't know about that. I think a lot depends. I see porn like a tool, right? Like a tool.
To use a tool.
To use a tool. It's just how it depends how you use it. Like use a knife. You can use a knife to cook. You can use a knife to kill someone. So it depends how you use it.
This is different perspective.
Anything excessive, it's bad, of course. Anything excessive or anything too little is bad. So that's why we look for balance. What is a balanced way of doing it?
Okay, so you mean that pornography, in a balanced and sufficient manner, could be reasonably good and helpful?
You use for
I think so.
tools as a tool.
As a tool. If pornography replaces emotional connection in the relationship, then something is wrong.
Even in secondary schools and whatever schools we go through, right, they even have like sex ads, right?
Yep.
To kind of tell you to never and to not watch porn.
Oh,
and that's always the thing that they always drill us with.
From therapist point of view, what is this kind of education not to watch porn in
I
sexual
feel it's very
education?
suppressing. So when people don't know what porn is, or people don't, then the more you ask them not to do, the more they're gonna do it, right? The more they get more curious.
Yeah.
So it's best to educate the public, the students, what is healthy sex, what is consensual, what is non-consensual, what is okay, what is not okay.
I'm just curious. Therapists, like mental health therapists, do they have a say in what kind of sexual education preach in the school?
I don't think so. I don't think we have a say in what to teach in school. From what I knew from my students is that they only taught how to use a condom.
All right, I took a break for a moment to think about those things. Yes. But anyways, before we go, I want to ask, what are some signs that it may be beneficial, that it may be time for couples to seek therapy together?
I think anytime is good to get help. Anytime. Of course, you don't want to wait until it's so bad. It's like stage 4 cancer. Then you go and seek help. Then would be a little too. It can still manageable, but it is still harder to solve. But anytime, anytime that if you wonder whether you need to go see one, that's usually a sign that you should go and see one. I think one thing to think about is that you're not trapped. You're not trapped in a relationship. You can get help. So nothing is too small to talk about in sessions with a therapist. What you want to get out of the sessions is to become someone that you want to be, right? Someone that you will be proud of. Yeah. So when you want to work towards the version of you that you're okay being.
Today, we have spoken about stories, about anxiety, about dealing with relationships, and I think it's been very beneficial, right, Doctor?
Correct.
Wow, I'm still a bit mind blown here and there, but then I believe you will be mind blown too. If you got questions, got things to ask, drop them down in the comments down below, and we would love to get to your questions and to get engaged with each and every single one of you as much as possible. Yes, Doctor?
Yes, that's right.
That's right. Before we go, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Matt Talk Singapore and Dr. Tony Setiobudi, we've got more content coming right your way. And that's all we have for you today. And we say it, we proclaim it together.
Dr.
Dr. Say One Ho!